And I got to ask you, too, before we go to break, about what's happening to former President Obama right now. You know, we saw Trump release that AI video of him getting arrested to the tune of the YMCA song. And now we have DNI Tulsi Gabbard sort of pushing these baseless claims about the former president, claiming that the Russia probe was designed by him to undermine Trump's incoming presidency at the time. How seriously do you take this? I mean, a lot of people are talking about it as a distraction right now. But do you think there's a real hunger, a real plan here to try to go after Obama?
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Warriors, Al Sharpton, so-called Reverend Al Sharpton, the used to be chubby mob rat. That's what we're talking about today. And his response to what is going on with former President Barack Hussein Obama. Before we get into this video, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications. Stick around to the end. Let's get into it. Okay, we know Barack Obama has been circling the news lately. Not in a good way. I mean, it is looking bad. I mean, really bad. But you know, Al Sharpton, he's always in the mix somewhere. But here he is on MSNBC talking about this very thing.
And I got to ask you, too, before we go to break, about what's happening to former President Obama right now. You know, we saw Trump release that AI video of him getting arrested to the tune of the YMCA song. And now we have DNI Tulsi Gabbard sort of pushing these baseless claims about the former president, claiming that the Russia probe was designed by him to undermine Trump's incoming presidency at the time. How seriously do you take this? I mean, a lot of people are talking about it as a distraction right now. But do you think there's a real hunger, a real plan here to try to go after Obama?
I think it's a real problem for the country to have a sitting president to say that you are to arrest or prosecute a president. His predecessor has never happened in American history. And to get people all geared up, all you need is some nut to feel I should make a citizen's arrest. This can go anywhere. So I don't think we ought to deal with it as a distraction, but we need to deal with the gravity of what they're doing. You're talking about the president of the United States, no matter how we feel about him, attacking a former president, saying he stood in this Oval Office and broke the law and he should be brought to justice.
Yeah, they're using words like treasonous conspiracy.
And what is, when I was going to school, treason, what are you supposed to face with treason? So I think it is very dangerous for the country, very dangerous for President Obama and his family. And I think it's something that, you know, when Donald Trump was shot, all of us rushed out and said, this is wrong, we condemn it. You can't put people in a position where you know you can incite somebody who's not all that well to think they're doing the country a favor if they're dealing with treason. And that's my fear, that we now are way across the line of what we should do for Trump or Obama. We shouldn't do that to any president.
Oh, my. He said a president. We shouldn't do that to a president. Remember the hell they put President Trump, well then, you know, former President Trump through? And while he was president, they're doing something now. You shouldn't do that. That's never happened before. Are you serious, Al? Sharp tongue. You always out in the streets race baiting. I'm surprised he didn't bring it to race then. You know what? I got to give him a little bit of credit for not saying they're just doing this because he's black. I got to give credit where credit is due. You mean to tell me you didn't blame this on the fact that Barack Obama is so-called black? He's really of mixed heritage. Not that it matters, but he didn't play the race card that time. That is quite shocking, I must say. But yes, they put President Trump through hell. They didn't think anything about that. The Russia hoax. Come on, guys. Now, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard does come across to me as very credible and has done a lot of work and has said all of these things lead right back to Barack Hussein Obama. And President Trump, however you feel about him, every time he says something, sometimes it sounds like really, really crazy, but every time it ends up to be true, like literally true. It is wild. I mean, seriously, if you go back and look at the history and then information comes out later corroborating that. President Trump has been saying for years that Barack Obama spied on his campaign, spied on him. And now it's come back. The chickens have come home to roost. See what I'm saying? And then this man right here, Al Sharpton, he is no reverend, okay? What church does he preach over? What is it? And remember the whole thing with Tawana Brawley, the whole thing with that. Let's just give you guys a little bit of reminder, because that was the whole race hoax, grape thing that happened back in the late 80s, I believe. And he was chubby back then. Al Sharpton got all out in the streets saying, bringing up race, bringing it up, talking about the fact that she's black and these were some white people and all this stuff. And then it turned out to be a hoax and it wasn't true. It turned out literally to be made up. I'm serious, because the girl stayed out at night and she had to come up with something to not get into trouble with her stepfather. Watch this interview with Leslie Stahl.
Clear eye. You've apologized, you've asked for forgiveness, except on Tawana Brawley. I don't get it.
I'll be honest with you. I have thought about that a million times. I just don't believe they treated that case fair.
If I knew that I had in any way contributed to falsely accusing someone, I think I would feel an obligation to say I'm sorry.
I think you're right. I think the operative word is if you knew that. I don't know that.
If they didn't do it,
but suppose they did.
Suppose they did. But they didn't. They didn't.
Suppose they did. Suppose they did. But they didn't. That is the problem. See people like that? And then, you know, this man is awful. This man is awful. I mean, and people that don't know any better, like a bunch of black folks in America love some Al Sharpton. That is sad. And he also was a sellout when it came to the banning of menthol cigarettes. Remember menthol cigarettes? There was a proposed, they were trying to get the menthol out of the cigarettes because it was causing cancer rates in black people, because black people tended to smoke menthol cigarettes more often than other types of cigarettes. But the menthol caused the, smoke to go down more smoothly, which caused people to breathe deeply, inhale deeply, and cause cancer rates to rise. But then the menthol cigarette companies had this great idea to use Al Sharpton, gave him a little something to keep the black folks on the menthol cigarettes, even though they were making black people sick. This man does not care about us.
Smoking is bad for your health, no question about it. But if it's a health issue, why ain't you banning all cigarettes? No, we banning the menthol because most blacks and all smoking. Why don't you ban them all? So in other words, whites know how much to smoke and we don't know how much to smoke. If it's a health issue, what y'all prejudice against other folks? It's a criminal justice matter.
There he goes, bringing up race again. So what you're trying to say, white folks know how to smoke and black folks don't? Oh my gosh. This man is horrible. Talking about the chief, the OG of sellouts, the original gangster. Yes, that would be you, Reverend Al Sharpton. You are a hot mess. You are a sinister, evil person. You are a minister of darkness, a sultan of Satan. Yes, you pretend like you're for black people, but you're really not. You stir up trouble. You are a race baiter and you are a hater. And now your boy, as they say, Barack Hussein Obama, y'all better watch. He might be a flight risk. Barack Obama might be trying to figure out a way to get up out of here, okay? Because he knows it's going down for real this time. And you all are going to say that, no, nothing's going to happen to him. I don't think you get immunity for treason. That's if that is what's going on. But I wanted to share this with you because this Al Sharpton is upset about this whole Barack Obama thing. And I'm not let me just say this. The man's probably going to bring up race eventually. He didn't bring it up in that clip, but knowing him, that's what he does. All right, that is literally what he does. You all give me your comments below. How you feel about this whole thing with Barack Obama? How do you feel about Al Sharpton? Leave your comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.